Obviously nobody can hear me. All right, nobody can hear me, eh? Hello? Hello? Yeah, I'm unmuted. Oh dear. Okay, so nobody can hear me, eh? Start broadcast.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
You know what? That might it might help if I actually press the button that says start broadcast. Oh, geez, we live and we learn, don't we? You should all be able to hear me now, I'm hoping. Yes. Oh, look, all these people typing away, and yes. Ah, beautiful. Good on you guys. Okay. Well, look. I mean, obviously we've had a pretty fantastic day today. I would like to just hear from those who have actually been doing things on an each way basis today. I would like to look at a few of the trades that people have been making. I've had a couple of demos today, and I have been concentrating just on the auto side of things. But I would like to hear from people about things to do with your each way trading for the day and what sort of things people sort of thought. So over on the right hand side, you all sort of should be familiar by now, I'm hoping, with how to raise your hand. Does anybody have any questions with relation to any of the each way sort of standout trades that they made today, and does anybody have anything they would like to go over firstly before I move on? Gary? No worries, Gary. I'm just about to take you off mute. So, Gary, you're the first cap off the rank. How are you today?
Good, mate. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
That's the shot. Yeah, first 5 trades today, Kev, each way, and 5 results.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, not quite so good.
Right. Yep. That's great. I'm glad that you've brought that up, because that's exactly why we're here, Gary, and that is to, you know, like there is always going to be a good window of opportunity for us early in the day, and, you know, once we can feel that those opportunities are few and far between, or once we can sort of feel that the trend is reversing on us with whatever strategy that we're using, and I'm not talking about anything to do with automation, I'm only talking about exactly what you've raised and what we want to concentrate on today, and that is looking for those standout each way trades. So in terms of that, you know, it's normally going to be a case of, you know, that we will get 4 or 5 or 6, or we'll get 6 out of 7 or 7 out of 8 and things like that, but then we will feel that that will reverse on us. And one of the reasons for that is obviously that we've been sitting there for a little while, and you know, we're probably not as sharp as we were when we first jumped on. I always suggest to everybody that we really only should be trading for a maximum of around about 90 minutes. I mean, I know that I sort of say 2 hours, but really, you know, if I really wanted to be strict on that, I would say 1 hour. In that 1 hour, we are always going to make our money in that first 30 to 60 minutes of trading, doing things each way, and after that we'll find that things sort of reverse on us, and that's when we really should be getting out. Does that sort of make any sense to you? And can we go through exactly what you did today, Gary?
Sure. First race was 12:25 Newcastle, race 1. Sorry, number 1, private record.
Yep.
Next bet was 1240.
Now, can we
Race one,
just take a look at that for 1 second, if you don't mind? Look, one of the things that I always suggest on a Saturday to everybody is to really try and stick to the major metro races. I can certainly understand with absolutely no qualms and no questions as to how or why you made that selection. It is clear and it is concise. I'm not too sure what your minimum distance is that you've got in the software at the moment. It should be 1,000 metres, and we should have a red light on there for that. And, you know, sticking to those sort of metros. But in saying that, you know, if you were to drop that Newcastle race out, you wouldn't have seen it. You wouldn't have been able to act on it. But all that I'd say is to everybody, just make sure that you're looking at the sorts of races that you're investing on and things like that, and to make sure that what you're looking at is clear and concise. And that is, Gary, that's a nice selection there.
Yeah, the next selections were all from the major metros.
Yep.
The second one was 1240 Rose Hill, race 1.
Yep.
Number 1 acquired.
Acquired, yep. Beautiful. Now, you will all notice...
It was a bit short in the odds.
Yeah, look, it was a bit shorter than the odds, but it was certainly a no-brainer, wasn't it? You know, like, it was really good. The only other one that I was interested in that race was actually Seeking Attention, and I was actually chatting to somebody about that when we were looking at that race. So, again, fantastic selection. A little bit short in the odds, but, hey, you know, like, the whole idea of us sort of saying to stick to things that are minimum $2 place dividends is to steer us away from backing in terms of the order of favouritism, and that way we will always look for the more unusual patterns of betting. So, you know, looking at that race there was certainly nothing unusual about what was happening on that favourite. I did have to do an auto download not long after that, and I did lose a bit of data, so please excuse me with my columns of data missing in that race. And what was your next one there, Gary?
Next one was race 2, Doomben. Number 2, Kryptolon. Again, a bit short in the odds.
Look, again, absolutely fantastic, though. And this is the thing, right? You know, some people sort of say to me, oh, look, it seems like that this race that you did, you know, like you've actually taken something that was only $1.50 for the place. You know what? When it looks that good, you have to make an exception. You know, we're still looking at... And this is another thing that I want you all to sort of start doing as well, and that is like, hey, look, you know, we've got a minimum 50% built into the software, you know, that we say, okay, minimum 50%, minimum 60% that we're after for an auto trade. So why wouldn't we go after $1.50 or $1.60 on the place? There is one major reason for it, and that is because I don't want you all starting to back favourites when favourites have a very poor success rate. And we've seen that all day today, and we always see that. That is not the thing that we're after. But if we sort of started saying to people, all right, go and jump on this at $1.40 or $1.50, and all of a sudden that was a favourite, and favourites are only winning about 30% of races, the wheels are going to fall off. So again, fantastic selection. One of those sorts of, you know, executive decisions you sort of make when you look at something like that and you say, look, I know that it is 10 cents or 20 cents shorter than I'm really after, but hey, it doesn't get any better than that. Look at those 10-minute indications, and if everybody can take note of that, that is absolutely brilliant. Good work, Gary. And after that?
Next one was race 2, Rose Hill, number 9, Empire Place.
Yep, absolutely. And I saw you all. I was actually doing a demonstration at that stage, and I saw everybody actually jump into the chat and say, you know, what a brilliant selection to make it was. Again, you know, like, this is why we're here, folks. We are here to look for these types of indications. I'm just going to turn my grey off for a minute here, and I'm going to ask you all, where is the strong colour across the 3 TABs? Now, I was doing a demonstration with somebody who's looked at this for the first time, and I said exactly the same thing. Now, please excuse me. I do have the chat popping up, and I'm just hoping that it's not anybody finding... no, we are on. We are definitely on. If other people can answer that, that would be fantastic, because I am recording this. So I'm just going to go on Do Not Disturb. All right. Now, that number 9 there is an absolutely fantastic selection. And again, yes, look, it's less than $2 for the place, but I mean, you really can't go past those indications. They're absolutely fantastic. Good stuff. And again, you know what?